Okay, we're going to do a little science experiment called sink or float. And we got a few different things here that we're going to test out to see what will sink or float. So we got to put our water in here first.
Like all of the water.
And I know we had to come outside to do this, that way we don't make a huge mess in the house.
Then we can play outside. Then we can play outside.
Okay. And we'll save the food and stuff for last. Alright. Now the first thing we're going to do,
What?
this piece of paper.
Can I put the piece of paper in there?
I think your brother wants to. Hold on. Do you guys think it's going to? You guys think it's going to float or sink?
Well, I want to see it try.
Which do you think it's going to do? Do you think it's going to float or do you think it's going to sink?
What is it going to?
You have to guess.
Float or sink?
You have to pick one or the other. Is it going to float or sink?
Sink.
Okay. What do you think? Sink or float? I think it's going to float. So let's see. No, not the duck yet.
Yeah, it does.
It floats.
It does?
I'm sure if we left it in there long enough, though, it would sink.
It does?
You think the duck's going to sink or float?
Sink.
I think float.
What would it?
Hey, look. Say it floats. Say quack, quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
All right. The next thing we have is this cup. Do you think it's going to sink or float?
Well, can I put it in there?
Okay. Do you think it's going to sink or float before you put it in there?
I think it's going to.
Oh no!
Float and sink.
No, one or the other. Float or sink.
I think it was just kind of.
I think it's going to float.
It's going to float. But it's actually moving.
Well, yeah. So we have the cup, the paper, and the duck that floats. What do you think about this pencil? Do you think it's going to sink or is it going to float?
I think it's going to sink.
I think it's going to sink too. Let's watch. Oh, no, we were wrong. It floats.
Yeah, it
Okay. This toy, you think it's going to sink or float? Now that one I think is going to sink.
does. Without.
Stick it in there. Here, let go. Let go.
Oh.
It sunk.
I'll get it out. Hey!
My hands got wet!
I have to dry my hands off of my pants.
All right. Now we got this pebble. You think it's going to sink or float?
I think it's
Hold. You think it's going to sink? That's what I think too. Stick it in there. And it did. It sunk. Here, let's stick this over here and let it dry. So far, we have two things that sunk. And that was the helicopter and the pebble.
Then the paper.
And the paper and the pencil and the cup floated. Ryder, you mushed a cracker.
And what about the...
And the duck. The duck floated.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Next, we're going to try this cracker, even though Ryder kind of crumpled it up. You think it's going to sink or float?
I think it's going to sink.
It might float. Let's see. It floats.
It will float.
Well, it's starting to sink because it's crumbling. Okay, so that floats.
What about the glitter and paint?
We'll do that here in just a minute.
What's it going to do?
Let's see what this Tootsie Roll does. We'll take it out of the paper.
Then this.
We'll do that in a minute. You think this is going to sink or float?
I think it's going to sink.
That's what I'm thinking. But let's see. Yep. So just so you know, Tootsie Roll sink.
I will do
Back
some
up.
stuff.
Back up, Ryder. Let me see that. Ryder.
Or can I put all of them in?
No, we're just going to do one.
Yeah. Can I put
Ryderson, you're going to have to sit down somewhere.
Can I put one in?
No, we got all the technical difficulty. Yeah, we have a Smartie. You think it's going to sink or float?
I think it's gonna sink.
Well, you have to pick before that, so you cheated. But yes, it sinks.
Yeah.
So far, okay, so far we got the Smartie, the Tootsie Roll, the Pebble, and the helicopter that sinks. Then we have this stuff that floats. Now, we're going to do some glitter.
The paint.
What do you think the glitter is going to do, sink or float?
I think it's gonna sink.
I think it's going to float. We don't need a whole lot. So let's see what it does. And the glitter floats.
What about the paint?
I don't know. Do you think it's going to sink or float?
I think it's gonna float.
I think it might sink.
Yeah, it'll sink.
So let's see. Oh, okay, I got some bad paint. Okay, well, other than the watery part of the paint sinks. Remember that.
Yeah, it looks like green slime.
Now, we're going to do some vegetable oil. What do you think the vegetable oil will do? You think it's going to float or sink?
I think it's gonna float.
You think it's going to float? Let's see.
It's gonna sink, it's gonna sink, it's gonna sink.
Well, it sunk, but it came right back up.
Yeah, because it's made of bubbles.
Because you have more water than you do oil, and oil and water.
Whoa!
So the oil will naturally float.
Then next is our syrup.
Last but not least,
Syrup.
do you think syrup sinks or floats?
I think it will.
I think it might sink.
Yeah,
And
it sinks.
there you have it. It sinks.
Yeah, it sinks.
So there's our fun little science experiment for the day. Show off your Batman shirts and your boots.